Today is about moving forward with awareness. Okay, it's feeling the ground under our feet, hearing our intuition speak what it has been trying to tell us, and realizing that every thought, every word, every choice is part of something so much bigger that's about to unfold. So we'll break down the energy together. We'll start with the numerology, then we'll go to the astrology, and then we'll turn to the cards. But first, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your love, your time, your support. It's my hope, it's my intention that by the end of our time together, you have the tools, you have the wisdom, you have the insight to now walk forward with a sense of confidence, with clarity, with love. So, hi, I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Welcome to your daily focus, October the 22nd, 2025. So, today we have the energy of the 22. Oh my goodness. A master number appears, probably the best number in numerology. My own humble opinion, but I believe many do agree with me on that one. The 22, when we are present, we are in the moment, and we are only thinking of what is to be as it already is. Everything just starts to come together. When we throw total belief and faith against the wall and then show up consistently, there is nothing that can stop you. The 22 energy brings everything together, and quite quickly, I might add. It'll be a whole bunch of serendipity or happenstance. If we look at the daily numerology, it would be a 1 plus a 22 plus a 9 equals 32. And I heard right away when I said 22 that a lot of people, when they do numerology, they would break down that 22 as a 4 energy, which is the lesser energy. And it does turn out, that would make it a 14. And the 14 would make the energy more of trying to find true balance. And we are going through it, actually, if you want to look at the lower energy here. The 14 is about finding our unique balance, what makes us happy, what makes us feel complete. And that is the message that has been going around. But we also need to acknowledge it going as a 32 energy, too. Okay, 1 plus 22 plus 9, because that brings in good news, rewards, victory. Like on a day like today, under a 32 energy, something like you got that promotion, or you got that phone call you were waiting for, or that text you were waiting for, or some kind of reward came in, you got a promotion, or things like this will happen. And the minute we allow pride into the picture, like, yeah, I did that. Well, no, you didn't. You really didn't, okay? There's a whole team working together here, okay? You didn't make it to here without some help. So be a little humble in what is happening to you. Be grateful for what is happening to you rather than saying, well, yeah, that happened this way. All in your own words. Okay, when we start to brag about our accomplishments as it was solely I, you will see things move south very quickly under a 32 energy. Now, 3 plus 2 or 1 plus 4 equals a 5 energy, so we do get to the 5 energy. And the 5 energy is about being present, being in the moment, the giggles, the laughters, the memories we can make at this moment. It is about letting our creativity, our inner expression, roam freely in our lives. Our inner child comes out to play. And we don't worry too much about tomorrow, and we don't worry about too much of yesterday. We are present in the moment and what's happening in this moment in time. very easily to describe that as you're at work and you had an argument with somebody and you left or they left with it unresolved. Now you are home with your family, and instead of being home with your family, you are still brooding about that event that happened in the past. Or maybe you are anxious about what might happen the next time you see this person. So being in the now means we put all that away and we enjoy the present moment. Okay, astrology. Sun is in Libra. You know what? I'm going to look at the card because I always forget, right? The Six of Cups. The Six of Cups says that something. I'm going to reshuffle too. The Six of Cups says something. Something we recognize something from our childhood or our youth. 18 and under. Let's go there. Okay, 16 and under maybe. 18 and under sounds better. 21 and under sounds absolute. But something happened in our lives to change the way we act, we talk, we approach things, we ignore things, we hide in the corner, we jump on stage. And it's about acknowledging that because in some way it has hindered you. This wall that you built to keep yourself safe in the moment does no good. It serves no purpose for you, but you see what that wall is. Okay, so I got out of it. Okay. Oh, you know what? I went to the cards. Look at what happens when you go to the cards. Astrology. Did we even start it? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Let's start again, okay? Sun is in Libra, moon is in Scorpio. And you know what? The energy. Sorry. The energy just builds. It just keeps building. Okay, we begin the day still feeling the ripple of yesterday's new moon in Libra. And Mercury and Mars still only remain a degree apart. And tomorrow, the moon is going to join in that conversation with Mercury and Mars after leaving the new moon energy. So that's all happening in the background of this energy of today. Okay, this morning, Neptune. Oh my goodness, I have a frog in my throat now. Hang on. Um, Neptune returns to Pisces this morning. And it's not to start something new, it's to finish something profound. Okay, we have walked this path for the last 14 years through dreams and delusions and compassion and confusion. Through everything that really taught us how to believe again. So Neptune's final visit now asks us to look back on how far we've come and decide what dreams and passions we want to step into for the next decade plus. Okay, so this is a closure on a soul's level. The last pages of a story that has shaped an entire generation's faith, imagination, understanding of purpose. So what is surfacing now isn't uncertainty. It may feel like that, though. It's a revelation, okay? The veil lifts and we see what those years were really for. How it prepped us to this moment, how it prepared us. And underneath that calm, the charge of Mercury and Mars together. Okay, so it can feel... Oh my gosh, they're trying to stop me from talking. Um, Mercury and Mars together, okay? Underneath this Neptune energy going back into Pisces, it's going to feel like 1 minute we are ready to move mountains, and the next moment we just want to watch the clouds drift by. Okay, and what is happening is the universe is blending the two so we can learn how to move forward with feeling, with emotion, instead of against it. And then today the sun will meet Neptune this afternoon in a quincunx. And you know that's an odd energy, right? These kinds of energies don't usually come together, and lately we've been having all kinds of them. But it's going to make today almost seem dreamy, like we're floating through life. Cut it out, okay? Yeah, so dreamy, floating, you know, more of a pulled back kind of energy. And, that is the exact energy we need right now, okay? Because that's going to begin to dissolve where we have been adamant or stubborn or rigid in some way. It's that internal compass that we have been following, the goals, the plans, the logical steps. It all starts to fade in the background. Okay, a different kind of guidance is emerging. Neptune pulls us away from strategy and towards our soul's alignment. So lean into compassion. Everybody is processing some deep emotions right now. I don't care who you are. Okay, and even if they can't name what those emotions are, they just feel different or off, or, they're not even trying to, like we are, trying to label it, to understand it, to pull it from our past so we can learn the lesson and leave it. The completion, the ending of that story. So, when you're dealing with other people, please choose empathy over explanation. Listen more than you're speaking today. And if something feels uncertain, just breathe. Just give it time, okay? Avoid any kind of hard deadline, final decisions. Inspiration is high, okay? But our focus may wander. So today, journal, meditate, take a walk through nature. Think about your goals, reimagine some projects, and allow for new ideas to start to surface here. And don't force any outcomes. Just what inspires us now will become actionable once the sun enters Scorpio. Okay, so this is a time to think. This is a time to allow us to process it. Okay, because the sun is entering Scorpio late tomorrow night. Okay, so, well, Eastern Standard Time. So right now, just let gentleness lead. Rest, take a bath, nap, simply breathe. Allow our spirit to catch up with our ambition. Okay, loving ourselves today means giving ourselves permission to pause, to not absorb ourselves in self doubt and guilt because we did take a break. Today will feel like we're standing in between worlds. We can sense the echo of the new moon, the balance we're trying to create, rebuild. Mercury and Mars is pushing us towards clarity and truth. The moon's going to come in there and join that conversation. Neptune's return to Pisces changes everything. It calls us to pause, to look at the bigger picture. Every dream we chased, every disappointment, every act of compassion, it was all part of this 14-year lesson in trust and forgiveness and faith. Seriously, I had no cough all day. And probably when I'm done taping this, I will have no cough again. So if you're feeling uncertain today, okay, don't rush to label it and define it. It's a day to listen while we move. It's a day to check our motives, our pace, our reasons for saying yes or no. Because every conversation, every reflection, every decision made today plants the roots in what's about to grow next in our life. So I'm going to go to the cards. Who do we have then? The Two of Pentacles. Any decision is a good decision. The only bad decision is not making a decision. Okay, so think about your pace, think about your ambitions, think about where you are going, what you are trying to accomplish, why you are trying to accomplish it. You know, what is the most important things, or what is most important in your life? That has been the tagline. I said it in January. It'd be, what matters most? That's the question we need to keep asking ourselves this year. What matters most? What needs to be our priority? Page of Cups. Page of Cups is our underlying energy. Dreams, they don't have to make sense. They don't have to have logic behind it. Just dream. Just allow your dream, just to allow your mind to exhale, to see the horizon grow and grow and grow, and the opportunities multiply more and more. Even if you can't see them now, they're right over the edge. Yeah, don't filter it. Don't try and label it. Don't try and analyze it. Just dream. Dream you're fighting a fire-breathing dragon. And you win. Okay, because you do little things like that. Well, you have, in your mind, shown yourself to be one of victory, one of success, bringing out courage and strength, able to take care of yourself. Even though it was just something fictional you dreamed, it is programming your mind in a new way. Because when we're thinking about our tomorrow, we're rarely thinking about slaying a fire-breathing dragon. But can you imagine seeing yourself doing that? Because that's an easy one to play in your mind that you win. Right? Because you're going to open your eyes and you're going to still be there. So obviously you won. Otherwise, you'd be a burnt marshmallow right now. So, it's about just letting the dream go and not starting to put the logic behind it of, well, that can't be because of this and that can't be because of that. We trip over ourselves so often without even realizing it. But when we start to do things like that, our minds start seeing us in a new light, even though it's just make-believe. That's the wonder, that's the beauty of the mind. It doesn't know fact from fiction. So when it sees you slaying the dragon, it thinks, oh, wow, we've got game. I don't know where that came from, but that was good. Thanks, guys. King of Wands. King of Wands is about, well, he's probably my favorite king. He's never dressed up in his formal garments. He's always ready to hit the ground running, to have an idea and at least try it, see how it works, how it doesn't work. Everything is advancement, even the failures, because we're just going to use those failures to know where not to put our energy. Because we're just starting out, and it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to mess up. We don't want to do those things 10 years down the road. We want to get them out of the way now so that we can run a straighter path going forward. So it's not about just sitting there and waiting, but to play with the energy, play with your thoughts, your emotions of what you want. Okay, the Page of Cups kind of says it all. You know, it's all in your mind right now. And those actions need to be in your mind. Remember, being lazy, I'll put little quotes around that word, is not a waste of time on certain days. This is the kind of energy where it's really not a waste of time, because we are thinking, we are planning, we are strategizing without even really knowing it, because we're not putting labels on everything today. We're just seeing it and just going with it and just breathing it in and out. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. We don't need any weapons. We don't need any armor. We need to just have a trust, a faith, a belief. A trust, a faith, a belief. Now, I heard this story once, and it was from Ireland. I think Sylvia Brown told this story, so correct me if it's incorrect. But in Ireland, they would go and get the youngest girl present if somebody lost something, put them on the kitchen chair, and they would stand there and they would tell us where the item was, and it worked. And everybody was like, it always worked. It always worked. As long as you did it, it worked. And it was something that they did. Why? Because everybody had a belief that the girl would know, and that brought in, almost a connection, and the girl would somehow just know. Belief, faith. I can't say it any clearer than that. For some reason, they're saying no. That's all they need to know, is just believe and have a faith and show up. And the Ten of Pentacles, and the success will be yours. Great success, great happiness, great joy, great health, well-being. Whatever you are going for in this world, whatever your goals are, whatever your dreams are, whatever your passions are. I apologize. I don't know what this cough is, but it'll go away as soon as I'm done recording. It's funny how they work. This is where, we may join forces with other people. Definitely our spirituality is a part of it, because there goes the High Priestess walking away. Okay, and she carries the magic. Maybe she has shown you the magic within you, within others, and utilizing that magic, those skills, those talents, those abilities to push yourself forward into the successes that you want in your life, the things that make you feel whole, alive. Okay, the ancient stones. Creativity. Creative expression. Trust your vision. Trust your vision. I like how they threw that in right away, right? Creativity. That's definitely the 5 energy today, which is, our daily energy, right? Creativity. Create expression. Trust your vision. That is the energy right now, is trusting your vision, knowing what you want. And no, you're not going to step into it right away. Wouldn't that be cool if you could? But things will come together the more faith and belief you have as you show up. Every day, regardless. You failed one day, oh well. That's just one step closer, one step closer, one step closer. As the great Michelangelo said, the sculptor sees the statue in the stone before they even begin. They receive the inner vision of what they're being called to create and let themselves be moved. Nature must be the best muse around, her effortless beauty inspiring artists through the ages. This is the card of the artist, the creative that we all have within us. So do you have a creative idea that you're being called to bring to life? Is there a creation that has been being asked to show up to? A book, a painting, a business, a project. The creativity card is assigned to tend to your creations each and every day and bring them to life. There are ideas that are wanting to be expressed and breathed into life, concepts and wisdom that are longing to be brought into the physical, etched into stone, made possible with your creative action. Creativity is your natural state, for life itself is creative. You're a creative being, and the more you creatively express yourself, the more alive you're likely to feel. Let yourself be a channel for the creations that are ready to be born. The artist is the vessel by which beauty and consciousness can be birthed upon this world. Creativity is a mystical act. It requires that we merge with the sacred to birth something new. And through that expression of beauty and consciousness, it breathes life into the beholder too. Like the ancient stones, your creations have the chance to outlive you. They're a way for you to leave your mark on the world, to say, I was truly here. Soul inquiry is, what creations are you being called to bring into form? Isn't that so cool? Because I really didn't think it had anything to do with the energy, and I thought, this deck let me down, and then you read through it. Did not let us down at all. Right? It just validated. Creativity. Well, it all starts with a thought. Everything starts with a thought. So that is the creative venture of today. It's not actually, it might be seeing the stone for the first time and meditating on that stone and touching that stone and talking to that stone before that stone actually turns into the vision of what it is to become in your life. And we have the cat, independence. The cat doesn't show up too often, so I'm surprised because it showed up not too long ago. And it usually takes a long time before it does come out again, this card. Because it doesn't have to show itself like the others do all the time. Strong in its own independence. Clever, secretive, mysterious, intelligent, independent, and nocturnal. It's your road and yours alone. Others may walk it with you, but no one can walk it for you. This is a strong message that you are to look at where in your life you are relying too heavily on another. Cat tells you that you are intelligent, you're clever, and clever enough to walk your path alone. And if you've just received a new job or a job promotion, it may feel like you're walking unsteadily. I think the energy alone will make us feel like we're walking unsteadily, though. And Kat says you're not giving yourself enough credit. With regards to relationships, Kat tells you that you need to look at the balance of the relationship. Have you been letting your partner take the lead in making all the decisions without your input, or is it the other way around? Either way, it's time to rebalance the relationship. Cats have always been associated with mystery and the supernatural, and it was once believed that cats were demons or spirits, and witches used them as their familiars. They can sometimes be unpredictable and sneaky. You may be interested in something supernatural. Cat tells you to research and learn. Cats are also associated with healers and healing, with their calming purrs being used on a vibrational level. Cat may be telling you that you are in need of some healing. So, snuggle with a cat or a kitten, and if you're not fond or don't have one of those creatures, you can use massage, meditation, acupuncture. You can simply just maybe need a cat nap. Cats are also nocturnal, and since many are afraid of darkness, Cat tells you it's time for you to look deep within. So shadow work. Look deep within at the deep and dark fears that maybe you have suppressed, which takes us back to that one card that was there that we put back in the deck again. I was surprised it didn't show up again, but something that happened to us in the molding stage of who we were to become. And how it has maybe protected us in that moment, but it now hinders us from really moving forward in the way we desire. And the truth, once we see it, it loses its power. Loses its power almost instantaneously. To take the wisdom and close the door on the rest. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.